What is going on, guys? Good afternoon. It's your favorite mortgage lender, Abdel Kwame. Got mortgages. We have got quite a bit to cover. I wanted to wait till today. Normally, we do these on Mondays, but I waited until Tuesday because I knew we were going to get some updates on inflation with the Consumer Price Index report. Quite a bit, really covering. Right, the bond market is not really doing too favorably as of today. Kind of expected. We were on a pretty good trend on interest rates, really moving down. And then over the course of since Thursday, they've kind of moved in the opposite direction. Not great, but again, one of the things that we kind of knew was more or less coming, right? So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to start right off the top. How have interest rates been doing? Again, since the start of the year, you could see we've been pretty much right at this edge of roughly anywhere around 6.8 to 6.9. Take a look at interest rates right now. They have been on a pretty upward trend since July 9th, which was pretty much since we got some updates on the employment numbers. You could see a little bit of change in transition, and obviously we're moving in the opposite. But what happened last week, as we usually start, and we'll go over actually today when we talk about the employment numbers. So again, we got updates on the Fed minutes, right? This was from their June meeting. And you can essentially see that all of it pointed to the Fed wanting to be cautious and waiting to wait and see approach, right? We know for quite some time they have left their federal funds rate untouched, 4.25 to 4.5. Again, this is overnight borrowing rate for banks, not the same as interest rate, but more or less directly correlated. Again, we know that the Fed has been cautious, really waiting for tariffs to come in and show an impact. We'll see again, just in a few. How did CPI come in today? Again, there were some potential moves of maybe there maybe being a rate cut in the July meeting. They're meeting at the end of this month, July 30th and 31st. Again, more than likely, especially after the recent CPI report today, we will not see a cut. We know that, again, that the Fed, as always, is balancing that dual mandate, right? Employment, and we talk about unemployment, and then also inflation. Keeping prices stable based on inflation and promoting maximum employment. We know that based on the BLS report that came out, that unemployment actually ticked down, which is not the direction we want to go in, right? It actually dropped to 4.1 from originally 4.2%. Remember, the higher the unemployment, the more concern there is that people are losing their jobs, more of a potential for the Federal Reserve to step in and actually look to cut the federal funds rate. Now, we'll take a look at, again, they will meet again on the September 17th, where we may potentially lean towards seeing a cut then. Again, once again, showing home ownership when we talk about home value appreciation, pretty much seeing in line with it being up once again. Pace is showing totality jumping up 0.8%, which is essentially core logic. Again, just a slight appreciation from 4.2%, which is the expectation going in. Continuing jobless claims, people who are let go are still having a hard job going back and finding employment once it reaches that, once they're let go at 1.965, which again is on a super, super high level, highest cycle it has been when we talk about continuing unemployment. Okay. And then we talked about, again, this week, we're going to get CPI, which we got today, which I'm going to go over, producer price index on Wednesday, Thursday, retail sales, and jobless claims. So how did CPI come in? So if we take a look here, we will see June consumer price index report, right, showed overall inflation rose 0.3% for the month, in line with expectation. Year over year, inflation decreased from 2.4 to 2.7%, right? Obviously moving the opposite, slightly higher and moving in the wrong direction. Main reason for the jump, aside from that, was, again, remember, this data is 12-month lag. So just this past year, right, in June of 2024, we were replacing a 0% reading, right? So obviously replacing zero, any potential movement is going to jump up. So the jump up of 0.3 was zero, obviously jumps it from 2.4 to 2.7. Again, another big part that hurt was energy prices, right? 1% increase in gas, 0.3% increase in food. Core rate, which strips both of that out, which is really what we take a look at, increased by 0.2%. Again, showing the core going from 2.8 to 2.9. Market was expecting 3, so at least that was good in our playbook. A big part, too, if we take a look at, is the shelter cost, right? As always, that's a very, very big component of the CPI report, and that also ticked up just 0.2%, really 0.18 to be exact, lowest reading since 2021. So obviously slowly showing that Lodging away is a big one. Rent rising, didn't rise too much. Owner's equivalent rent and all that fun stuff, right? So shelter, again, dropping from 3.9 to 3.8 on a year-to-year basis is really where we want to be. If we take a look at inflation from the last 3 months, it's been at from 2.4, 6 month 2.4, and then if we also take a look at core 2.4, 2.6, again, slowly getting closer to where the Fed wanted to be at that 2% mark, right? If we take a look at some of the things, right? As always, if we are friends on social media, you also know that we are sharing these. Again, what was the market insights? Just like what I had just went over. Fed meeting minutes again revealed. Home ownership once again showing some of the benefits of value appreciation. Job market once again showing signs of softenings, but again on the unemployment continuing claims, that is still showing at the highest level that it's been. Fed minutes, like we saw a couple different really changes when we talk about them looking to potentially cut. More than likely, we're not going to see anything this month, July 30th or 31st. We will likely maybe potentially see something in September. And then again, looking at continuing claims as we had discussed, taking it from there. Let's see how next week's producer price index report comes out. Could it potentially drop and be the break that we need? Only time will tell. So obviously, if you guys have any questions in regards to any of this stuff, please feel free to reach out to us. Visit our website, gotmortgages.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you guys next week. Have a great day.